Right after releasing the HVLP video, we got a lot of requests for how to properly clean your spray equipment. So I figured I would put together a quick video showing you guys exactly what you need to do to keep your gun cleaned and maintained. Cleaning the gun is one of those steps that a lot of people seem to gloss over, but is really pretty important when it comes to getting a proper finish the next time you want to use your gun. Leaving stuff in them is just going to clog the tip and cause it to spray improperly, and that's the last thing you want. And really, if you follow these easy steps, it's not that hard and it doesn't take that much time to do. You would probably be advised to do this outside somewhere and make sure that you've got the proper chemical to clean out whatever you've been spraying with. Now I'll put an article together with this to go on my website. You guys can click the link down below to that to get a little bit more information for anything that I might not go over in the video. I'm going to start by doing is pouring a little bit of the thinner in the cup, screwing the lid on. Make sure you got your hand over the air hole in the top, sort of shake it around and pull the trigger. By pulling the trigger, it will sort of clean out at least some of the inside of the gun. And then screw off the top, pour out the leftover contents, again pulling the trigger to make sure that I get everything cleaned out of there. At this point, I'm going to take a little bit of same thinner on a rag and I'm going to wipe the inside of the cup out with it. This is what I've found is usually the best way to get it clean. You can go ahead and screw the cup off of the gun. If you've got any on the outside of the cup, now would be a good time to also go ahead and clean that. Don't forget to clean the cap while you're at it, because obviously it's going to be finished on the inside and you're going to want to clean that out too. Once you got both of those parts clean, you can set those to the side to dry out. Now, for the gun itself, the air cap itself will pretty easily just unscrew. Once you take that off, I like to take and dunk it down into a bucket of thinner. To get the needle out of the gun, gonna unscrew this cap. Be very careful when you're unscrewing it that this spring, if it's under any pressure and it shoots out and you lose it, you're in trouble. You don't want to lose this spring. So you can probably just set the spring and the cap to the side, pull the needle out, and we'll put the needle to the side for now. Now for the cap, the air cap inside the gun. Most guns will come with a wrench just like this. If you buy any sort of gun, almost all of them are going to come with a wrench. And we're going to be careful not to mar the cap up, unscrew it. And we will also set it down in the thinner. Now last, I'll take the gun and I'll dunk it down in the same thinner. And if you want to, I usually don't, because I don't want to risk bending the needle. You don't want to bend the needle, because if you shove it down in there or put it down in there and then shove the gun on top of it and bend it, you're going to have problems later on with the needle not wanting to work properly in the gun. So usually what I'll do is just take the same rag that I was cleaning the cup with earlier and maybe get a little bit of thinner on the needle and clean it off. As far as the gun goes, you can usually set it, you can leave it set as long as you want to, but probably maybe an hour or so is enough time. Now, this is a brush that is made for cleaning spray gun equipment with. You can buy these in a kit pretty easily, pretty cheaply, I believe. I'll put a link to one of those in the description down below. If you don't have one of these little kits, it's good to have. It comes with several of these different brushes, as well as some lubricant to go on the needle when you go to put the gun back together. So what I do Once the gun's been soaking for a little while, I sort of take the brush with the thinner on it and I'm cleaning down in my gun. Now obviously this gun doesn't have anything on it, otherwise you'd be seeing stuff come off of it. But you want to try to take the brush and clean as much as possible. Clean in any areas or any paint or finish have been, and try to clean any of that stuff out. You don't have to get crazy with it, you just want it to try to get it as clean as possible. As long as you're putting this gun into the cleaner relatively soon after you're done finishing and it's not hardened yet, this really is a fairly simple process. Once I think I've got it pretty clean, take the gun out and wipe it down with my rag. The next step is going to be to take the air cap out and clean it with the same brush. Pretty straightforward. Just try to clean out as much of the areas as possible. Wipe it off with the same towel. And when you're done, make sure that all the air cap holes in here are cleaned out. You don't want any of those clogged up. If any of them are clogged, it's obviously going to mess up your spray pattern when you go to spray with the gun. You're going to be wondering what's wrong with it, and the whole time it's the gun cap is clogged up. Once you're done with that, screw it back into the gun. Take your wrench and tighten it back down. You don't have to get crazy tightening this. You just want it snug. At this point, you'd want to go ahead and put some of your spray gun lube. Now, I forgot it like a dummy. And you want to put some of that lube on the needle and slide that back into your gun. Put the spring back in. Screw the cap back onto the end. What I like to do is, while I'm screwing this in, hold the trigger in. And as I'm turning that screw in, once I feel it pushing the needle out, then I know I've got max capacity on the fluid control. The last thing to clean is the exterior air cap. Again, this is a pretty important part. You want to make sure that this part of the gun is clean and all the air cap holes are free and clear of debris and paint. Because again, you don't want any obstruction stopping the airflow while you're trying to spray. This just screws right back onto the gun. Make sure that you've got the end of it straightened properly and tighten it down. At this point, you pretty much got it clean. If you've got anything extra on the outside and you just want to wipe it down, you can do so, but the gun, as long as the internals are clean, that's the number one part. You want to make sure that the inside of the gun is perfectly clean. Now, one thing that I'll use from time to time, if I'm maybe spraying a lot of stuff during the day, but spraying it at different times, and I don't want to just break the gun down and do a major cleaning, I got this little bottle here. I call it a ketchup squirt bottle. That's basically what it is. It's got your thinner in it, and you can basically rinse to the top and flush the thinner back through the end of the fluid nozzle. Make sure that you also spray out the air cap holes to make sure that they're clear and clean. And most of the time, especially if you're spraying a non-catalyzed finish, this will be good enough for you to have it clean, as long as you're going to spray within that same day. Now again, I'm always going to recommend that you break the gun down and clean it properly. but you don't have to break it down every single time you're using it if you're going to use it multiple times in one day. This is where, if you're going to use one of these things, you need the safety glasses, because when you go to squirt it in that end cap, you accidentally turn the bottle just the slightest way with that amount of pressure, it's going to squirt right back in your face. Had it happen to me once. It's not pleasant. And there you go. Good clean gun, ready for the next use. So I hope this video helps those of you that were needing a little information on cleaning a gun. I have an article, as I said before, that goes along with this video. I'll put a link down below, as well as a link to a gun cleaning kit. I would highly recommend those of you that are going to dive into the world of HVLP to make sure you get a good gun cleaning kit and keep your gun clean as possible. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask either in the comments below or on the website. That's pretty much all I got for this time, guys. Happy trails. Thanks for watching.